Alright guys, the next thing we have to do is check our ring gap here. And according to the Kohler manual, it should be between 10 and 20 thousandths. So what we're going to do is put our rings in here. And we'll push them down a little bit. And we'll take out our feeler gauge for 10 first of all. Let's see, where are we at? 12, 13, here's 10. And we'll see if this will fit in there. No, it won't. So we're going to have to get our ring file and file that. What you can do is, to make sure that you got everything square, is you can take the piston and push the ring in a little bit with that. Just to show you what I'm looking at, the ring gap is right here and it's way too tight. So we're going to get our ring file and we're going to file a little bit off of that. For those of you that don't know what a ring file is, this is it. And you hold the ring against this wheel here and you crank this handle here and you can file it. So we'll just file a little bit and then we'll put it in there and test it again, and we'll do that until we have the right clearance. Close, take off a little bit more. It's a heck of a lot better than using a regular old file. You can just use a regular file, but it's hard to keep the gap square. Whereas this one here will get you a lot squarer. Oh yeah, that's real good right there. Real good, guys. I got my 10 in there. And what I'll do is I'll go up to 20. And I'll make sure that 20 doesn't fit. And then I know that I'm fine. Yeah, 20 doesn't fit. 10 does. 14 doesn't. 13 is just about in. 12 is good. So this ring is perfect. So we'll go over to the next ring. Usually if one ring doesn't fit right out of the box, none of them do. So we'll go back to our 10 again. Here we go. There's 10. Too tight, so we'll file it. See, get our 10 out. Still a little bit too tight. Take off a little bit more. Let's see. Take off a hair more. This one is thicker than the other ring, so it's a little harder to file it. But we'll get it done. Gotta be really careful because it's really easy to take off too much. Yeah, we're good now. So that's our 10. So again, we'll crank this up a little bit more. Let's try 13 and see if that fits. 13's in this one. We'll try 17. 17 barely fits, so we're right in the range that we need to be. So that ring's good. Then we got to check our oil rings, and then we'll install them all on the piston, and that's how you file rings. Now the next thing we got to do is get our valves in. So first we got to put on these valve rotors down here, or rotators. Then we got to put the valve spring in, and they go over the top of the tappets here. And then we got to put the keepers on the valve into the valve stem, which is always a cursing match, but we'll give it a shot. Well, I was able to get it in there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to install our new valve here. So we'll put that down. And then we'll use our valve spring compressor here to lift up on this whole assembly. Sorry, this is hard to do one-handed. But we'll compress our spring here. So now the bottom of the valve stem is exposed, and we can dip our two little keepers here in grease and get them to stick on there, and then you release the spring and your valve is installed. So it's easier said than done, but I'll do that, and then we'll move on to the next step. Now I got both the valves in. Now we got to adjust the clearances. So I have the engine in a position where both valves are all the way down, and to measure this, the intake valve is supposed to be 9 thousandths, so we'll put it between the lifter and the valve, and it doesn't fit, so I got to change it. So all you do is put 2 wrenches on here and move that thing either up or down to get your clearance. And we'll do the same thing to the exhaust, to the right spec for that.